in some capacity in the military, or that one officer, the one member there served in the CIA. This actually seemed to me, when I first saw it, it was less about the military, Grant, than it was about the intel community. And I think that there's an element here inside the intelligence community. And
what do you think, Lieutenant Colonel?
That's a good point. I want to tie it in, like you just said. You think it's connected? I think it was Mr. Bolton that was involved in that Atlantic article. Remember when they talked about suckers and losers back in 2020? The reason why is because President Trump and his administration was gaining cultural control over the most important, most funded institution in our government, the Department of Defense, now the Department of War. I see that that's taking place again now that Pete Hegseth has regained the cultural control over the warfighting institution that could be leveraged, if the president so chooses, to go after the deep state scorched earth style, legally, morally, and ethically. Number two, Tulsi Gabbard is regaining a modicum of control over the national security apparatus through the intelligence community, and they're starting to be cornered, right. And they're concerned and afraid that they're going to be held to account. And that's why they're calling on, hey, for those of you that are still Democrat holdovers or the deep state criminal holdovers from the previous administrations, stay in place. We will provide you top cover, is what essentially is being messaged by these Democrat domestic terrorists in the Congress.
Real quick, because you just said basically what what General Flynn had said. You said, Tulsi Gabbard, a modicum of control, not total control. General Flynn is very concerned that she doesn't have total control yet, and that President Trump may not be getting the intelligence he needs because she doesn't have total control as she tries to regain it. Your thoughts, briefly, if you can.
Yeah, so across the institutions, I would say that 99.9% of most institutions, DOJ, FBI, are still controlled by the holdovers. For example, the DOJ I still think is controlled completely by the Eric Holders, the Sally Yateses, and the Rod Rosensteins of the world. If you don't know who those people are, they are the ones that were behind the lawfare, the Russia hoax, etc. The FBI is still fully almost controlled by James Comey and Christopher Wray. And obviously you have a couple of 2-3 people up at the top, right, that are there. And when it comes to the intel community, I would say that Tulsi Gabbard actually has done the best in terms of cleaning house. She has pulled clearances. She's fired people. So it may not be at the 99% level, but I would say we're now at maybe 90% is still manipulating the intelligence community, which is a lot more than the other institutions. So that's why I say she has a modicum of control, and it's swinging in her favor, in her direction. Same thing with Pete Hegseth. And that's why you're seeing this call to action to reject the leadership that's in place.